everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is 𝖬𝖒𝒕 and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to today's video. We are doing dark romance recommendations. This video is specifically for the dark romance readathon. I mean, you can take these recs at any time, but I'm going to be giving them in the category of the prompts from the bingo board. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. You guys know I love discussing dark romances with you guys. I know so many of you guys love dark romances, and I hope you guys participate. If you didn't know, I am hosting the dark romance readathon with Heather from 𝖬𝖒𝖆 booktubes, Izzy from Happy for Now, Tamika from Library of Tomes, and Ashley from Ashley Reads YT. It's gonna be a fun time. We did this readathon back in August and we decided to do it again for a round 2. I'm very excited. I hope you guys join. I'm definitely gonna be vlogging my experience doing the readathon. For now, I thought I'd help you guys out for recs. Also, all the other co-hosts will be filming and uploading this video today as well. So I'll have their videos linked down below. Definitely rack up on the dark romance recommendations. These are not just for the readathon, you can read them at any time. I've talked about many of these before. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first little prompt on the bingo board is removal of a body part. I really had to rack my brain and I came up with some pretty good books that fit this prompt and also other prompts as well. So the first one is The Risk by 𝖬𝖃, and this series, first of all, The Risk is incredibly short on its own. The whole series together, each book in the series is like about 100 pages, and I read them back to back to back. So I feel like this would be a pretty good choice for the readathon because it is short. You could read The Risk and then read other books or read the entire series, but this one is the perfect one for removal of the body part. The Risk basically follows this girl and she is getting revenge on a group of men who did horrible, unspeakable acts to her and her younger brother. And this book is just so amazing because she's like a serial killer going around killing the men who wronged her. This case has gotten so much attention that it gets passed on to the FBI. The heroine starts dating the FBI agent who is the lead agent on her case, who's trying to figure out who it is. So amazing. Like the deceit, the revenge, everything about this book is just amazing. Like I love strong heroines who just do what they need to do and don't give a crap. She could also be like a psychopath, not really sure, but it was great. There was many body parts removed. And then another rec for removal of the body part is Haunting Adaline by H.D. Carlton. And this is a great psychopath stalker romance where the hero literally cuts off the hands of a guy who touched her. Like, he is super possessive and just dark. This is a great book, and I feel like a great book to read for this readathon because it hits tons of prompts as well. The heroine is an author. She finds a diary from her great-grandmother where her great-grandmother had a stalker, and history is kind of like repeating itself. The hero is so obsessed with her, which I love, and there are lots of body parts removed in this book as well. And last but not least, for removal of a body part, I'm recommending There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. This is dark romance heaven. This book is great. This one follows Mara, and she's kind of like this underground artist. She struggles with money, but she just loves her passion, which is making art. And the hero, Cole, is the exact opposite. He loves making art, but he's not struggling. He's very well known, he's very rich, and he has a rival, Alistair Shaw. Cole and Alistair have spent many years kind of battling, going back and forth, trying to make the best art. They're both killers, and they end up cutting off parts of people's bodies and kind of blending it into their art. So there are body parts removed for this one as well. This book is very dark, and I feel like you should definitely check up on the trigger warnings. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but Alistair Shaw sees Cole kind of checking out Mara, the main character, and he's like, ooh, you say you're not as bad as me, let me give you Mara as a present. So Alistair Shaw like kidnaps Mara, leaves her all tied up, really badly injured for Cole to see, but Cole feels like it's a trap and leaves Mara there and expects her to die. Mara is a strong heroine and she does not die. And Cole is really shocked to see Mara like around, but he becomes super fascinated by her because he's like, how did she survive and how was she like living, carrying on with her life? and he becomes super obsessed with her and wanting to know everything about her, inserting himself into her life, getting her a studio at his like building. It is just great. Tons of body parts are removed in this one as well. The next little prompt on the bingo board is touch her and you die, which you guys know I love this trope. I actually have a full video out on this trope, so I'll have that link down below if none of these sound appealing to you. A lot of these books I'm going to like overlap so you know which books will hit each prompt. But the first one that I have here is Haunting Adaline. This one also fits touch her and you die. Like I said, literally the hero, Zayd, he cuts off the hands of whoever of a guy who touched the heroine. So this is quite literally touch her and you die. Like, he is not letting anyone get out of this alive if they touched his girl. And this is before she even was his girl, so yeah, this one's great. The next one that I have is Run Posey Run by Kate C. Wells. This is a mafia romance with a kind of like a sociopath. I'm pretty sure he's a sociopath. And the heroine, who is just so head over heels in love with the hero. She will do anything for him to make him happy. And one day he gets sent a video of her hooking up with someone else, and he completely loses his crap. He breaks up with her, he sends her away, he threatens her. But he quickly realizes that he made a huge mistake and wants her back. He goes on this huge like cat and mouse chase to get her back. She's like taunting him, he's stalking her. He finally does get her back, but she is not the same person that he once loved and remembered. She's realizing that he never actually loved her, and she's also realizing that he was just cold to her and indifferent. This one has major touch her and you die trope vibes. She is also under his protection, and so there's a group of people who are like out to get her and want her dead and want her to suffer, and so he protects her from those group of men. So this one has great touch her and you die vibes. And then the next little trope is criminal, and I love a good criminal. So the first one that I have here is the risk. So the risk fits removal of a body part and criminal. Obviously she is a criminal. She is killing, like slaughtering this group of men. It's really taboo and forbidden because she's falling in love with the FBI agent who is investigating the case. So she is a top tier criminal. There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark also fits the criminal bill, because they are criminals. Cole and Alistair are criminals. Obviously they are killing people and using it for their art, or anyone who really annoys them. So they are criminals as well, and there's kind of like an investigation on who is killing people, and people are connecting the dots to Cole and Alistair. So this one has great criminal content. We also have Haunting Adaline. Also fits this one. Zayd runs this operation, this business where he saves a bunch of people from human trafficking, and in order to do that he kind of has to be a criminal. It's not like through the government, so he is just going, he has this group of people, he has a group of people, he has a business, and he is saving these women and killing all the bad people. So technically he is a criminal. And then we have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Hooked is basically a Peter Pan retelling with Captain Hook and Wendy. They fall in love and it's great. And in this story, Wendy is Peter's daughter, and Hook, the hero, he basically has major beef with Peter. Peter did something to Hook's family years and years ago, and now that Peter and his family have moved into Hook's town, it's time for Hook to get his revenge. And what better way to do that than go for his daughter? That's what kind of like the book is about. He's basically using her, and Wendy kind of has like a strained relationship with her father. He has been making a lot of decisions that she doesn't agree with. So yeah, and Hook is a criminal. He is kind of like I want to say it's like a gang or like a mafia, and he sells pixie dust, which is drugs. He collects dues from businesses, and he is like a criminal, and he's a criminal. And then Run Posey Run is another book where there's a criminal. Obviously it's a mafia, he is doing illegal things. That one's kind of self-explanatory, but this one's good because it fits this prompt as well. The next trope that we have on here is family rivalry, and for this one I have The Predator by Runex. This is a family rivalry and it's so great. These two are mafia families and they are enemies, they're rivals, not on good terms, But basically, the daughter of a mafia leader, she's like a really good programmer, she's good with codes, and one day her ex-boyfriend steals her codes. She believes that he took those codes to the her family's rivaling mafia, and this is not good because these codes are incredibly dangerous. They have the potential of creating wars and ruining businesses and deals, and it's just not good if these codes get out there. So she is in a panic and needs to get the codes back. So one day she sneaks into her family rival's house and is like, listen, I know he gave you the codes. She's threatening their life, and she's like, I need those codes back. Like, those are very important, they can't get out there, I need those codes back. And then the hero, who is the leader of his family's mafia, and he's the rival of the heroines, he's like, look, I don't have your codes, but I'm gonna help you get them back because I don't want these codes getting out there either. So it's basically like son and daughter of two rivals, and they're working together in secret to get back these codes, and there's chemistry and tension and just greatness. This book is so great and is a great book for family rivalry. And then Hooked is another good one for family rivalry as well. Obviously Hook hates Peter. Obviously Wendy is Peter's daughter, so it's forbidden in that aspect, and a family rivalry as well. And then I put Dangerous Temptation. I love this book in this Midnight Dynasty universe. The whole Midnight Dynasty universe is about a rivaling family, the Constantines and the Morellis, and they both kind of rule over New York, and they hate each other, and it's just greatness. So Dangerous Temptation follows it's kind of hard to explain. It's like the illegitimate daughter of the Constantine line and illegitimate son of the Morelli line. It's an age gap romance. Bianca is 17 years old. Her mother doesn't really care for her or her son, and she really only cares about the men that she's dating and which men can get her the most money, and that's just how she goes about. And her mom just started dating this man named Tiernan. He's been coming to the house and sleeping over, and Bianca does not like Tiernan whatsoever because Tiernan is a major asshole to her and just treats her horribly and is so mean. And one day Bianca discovers that her mom has died and she has no one to call. She has no family, she has no family friends, and she decides to call Tiernan because that is the first person who came to mind. She really is just expecting Tiernan to help out with like funeral arrangements and plans, but he ends up becoming the legal guardian of Bianca and her younger brother, and now they're living in this huge like castle, super dark and moody, and there is chemistry between Bianca and Tiernan. Yes, she's 17. I think Gianna Darling said that the age of consent for her characters in this state was like 17 or 16, I'm not sure. But yeah, so this book is definitely very taboo, but it is so good, and the family rivalry in here is great. I really just recommend the whole Midnight Dynasty universe in general for a good family rivalry, but this one was my introduction to it and it was amazing. So then after family rivalry, there's a free space, so you can really just use any of the books for that one. And then there's Public Sex, which the great thing about this one is that I've already recommended books that have this trope in it. So Dangerous Temptation by Gianna Darling also has public sex, and then Haunting Adaline by H.G. Carlton, that has public sex as well. And then we have a badass heroine, and I had to recommend The Risk by S.T. Abby. The Risk is just the embodiment of a badass heroine. She is killing all these men who have wronged her and doing it in secret, and she's literally dating the FBI agent who is in charge of her case, and he still had no idea. Like, it is just amazing. Like, I love this series so much. I definitely think the Dark Romance Readathon is a great time to read it, especially because it is so short and so good and checks off so many of these boxes, so I highly recommend it. And then There Are No Saints by Sophie Lerck, also as a badass heroine. Obviously Mara literally escaped death. There was no way for her to survive that, but she did it somehow, and it's great. I think Mara is such a good, fun heroine to read about. She's a struggling artist but does what she needs to do. It's great. I love this one. Definitely recommend. And then the next trope is obsessive hero, which I'm pretty sure mostly all of these that I recommended have an obsessive hero. Haunting Adaline, he's literally stalking her and obsessed with her. There Are No Saints, I told you, sociopath. Like, once Cole discovers that Mara escaped death, he becomes obsessed with her and follows her and stalks the living daylights out of her, which love. Then Run Posey Run, which I recommended earlier, has an obsessive hero as well. He obviously stalks her and tries to get her back. He's just super obsessed. And then a book that I haven't recommended yet for this readathon, Bitter Heat by Mia Knight, deals with an obsessive hero as well. It's a second chance, dark romance, toxic relationship. It follows this girl named Jasmine, and she was so in love once upon a time with this guy that her family did not approve of because he was kind of poor from the opposite side of town. She gets married to him anyways, despite family's disapproval. Once they're married, she realizes that her husband has changed ever since like the rejection of her family. The hero really just wants to prove them wrong, so he becomes immersed in business and he wants to be rich and just like work his way to the top because he never wants to feel that way again. And because of this, he starts pushing Jasmine away a lot. He's like only focused on his business and he becomes a little bit crazy. So Jasmine ends up divorcing him, and years later these two are brought back together in each other's lives after the hero's mom gets into like an accident, and Jasmine is still talking to his mom, so she comes right away, and he gets called as well, and there is a snowstorm happening, so they have to stay together in his childhood home and work things out and talk, and like it's great. It is a toxic romance to the core. He starts blackmailing her. It's a great fun time, and he is definitely obsessive. And the last little trope on this bingo board is mafia romance, so I'm just going to give you guys books that I've recommended in this video that fit. So Run Posey Run is a mafia romance. Obviously the guy is a mafia boss person. Predator by 𝖏𝑓𝑙𝑉𝖆𝑔𝑗, which also fits the family rivalry trope, is a mafia romance with two rivaling families, which is great. And yeah, I mean, this readathon, you can really just read whatever you want. It's just an excuse to read dark romance. If you have not read the books that I recommended, I highly suggest giving them a try during this time. I think The Risk, like I said earlier, is a great one to read during the readathon because it is short, super addicting, and fits so many of these tropes. I think Haunting Adaline is a good one as well because it fits many of the tropes, but it is a bigger book, so I would really just try to like feel out whatever you're in the mood for. And obviously if you're not participating in the dark romance readathon, I highly recommend reading these books anyways if you're in the mood for like a badass heroine or a family rivalry, whichever the case may be. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss a video from me. And I will see you very shortly in a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.